The Young and the Restless scoop for Thursday, December 4th, reveals Noah Newman and Sienna Bacall will make their getaway. Also coming up, Victor Newman will get the upper hand on Matt Clark. Plus, Nick Newman and Sharon Newman will be filled with relief, and Detective Annie Stewart will turn on Detective Burrow. Why and... Spoilers tease Victor will assure Sharon and Nick he can get Matt Clark to tell them where Noah is. Nick will say the cops have been investigating Matt for trafficking fentanyl. Sharon will wonder why he'd want to put it all at risk for revenge on them. Victor will say the more money Matt has, the more he has to lose. I'm going to force his hand. He plans to unleash the AI software he has on Matt's business. They'll continue sitting around blabbing until Victor cues up the AI software, preparing to ruin Matt. Meanwhile, Matt will corner Sienna and Noah. Going someplace? He'll ask them. Noah will try to push him, but Sienna will hold him back. Matt will say it must have been nice for them. They don't have to sneak around anymore. "This is sick, Mitch!" Sienna will shout at her husband. "You left us here without food and water!" Sienna will try to smack her husband, but he'll hold her in a chokehold. Eventually, he'll let her go, and Noah will accuse Matt of targeting him from the beginning. "To continue this insane vendetta you have against my parents." He'll wonder when it will end. "We're nowhere near to the end, son," Matt will reply. "We're just getting started." Sienna will apologize for cheating on him. She'll say she should have been honest, but she and Noah didn't plan it. "Stop saying you didn't plan this," he'll shout. "I see the way you look at him, and it enrages me." Noah will tell Burrow if he lets them go, they won't say anything. Burrow will say they're not going anywhere. Matt will pull out the baggie of fentanyl and tell Noah he looks tense and needs something to take the edge off. Noah will say he's not taking it. "I'm not asking," Matt will reply. When Noah refuses again, Matt will say he's going to take the drugs, otherwise he'll kill Sienna, and Noah has seconds to decide. "You would really do it? You would shoot your own wife?" Noah will ask. "No, silly, I'm not going to do it," Matt will reply, motioning towards Burrow's. "He is." Burrow will pull out his gun, and Sienna will tell Noah not to give Matt what he wants. "It's time for consequences, you," Matt will say to Noah. "Pick up the bag." So he will, but Burrow will point the gun at Matt and tell him to put his hands in the air. "You are under arrest for possession of narcotics with the intent to sell." Then his partner will show up. Burrows will tell Annie they got him, but Matt will say this isn't going down the way he thinks. "You see, Burrow, your friend Annie is really my friend Annie." Stewart will pull out her gun and shove it in Burrow's back. Suddenly, Noah will take a chance, pushing the gun out of Stewart's hand. She'll drop it, and he and Sienna will take off. The couple will end up at the shadow room. Noah will wonder what happened to Burrow as Sienna clears out the cash box, grabs a gun, and some files. He'll tell her to hurry, and they'll take off in her vehicle. Eventually, she'll realize her husband is following them. Back at the hotel, Victor will call Matt, who will glance down at his phone as he's driving and won't pick up. Then Victor will send him a screenshot of the shadow room's financials. Matt will call Victor and ask what he sent him. "One push of a button, my AI system will take over," Victor will tell him, "and transfer all of your money to me." But Matt will suspect it's a trick. "Not gonna happen, brother, and you are never gonna see Noah alive again." But Nick will get a call from Noah, who'll say he's with Sienna, but Matt's following them. Nick will tell him to find a public place, give him the name, and he'll call the cops. So, Sienna will pull into the parking lot at a park. Finally, Victor will tell Matt it seems fortune has turned in their favor. "We don't need you anymore," he'll add, "so you can kiss your assets goodbye." Noah and Sienna will be relieved, and they'll embrace after her husband drives past them. But the villain will be furious. "This isn't over," he'll shout menacingly. "This isn't over." Keep reading the Soap Scoop for Young and the Restless spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our Why in Our Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. On the Wednesday, December 3rd episode of The Young and the Restless, Victor arrived in Los Angeles. Nick and Sharon reached a dead end, and Matt stopped Noah and Sienna's escape. Nick and Sharon were overwhelmed by the miserable living conditions for the drug users at the location they searched for Noah. Nobody recognized Noah, which only made it more chaotic. Detective Burrow and Annie returned, and they didn't think Noah was at that location. Nick thought Matt might be playing mind games. Sharon agreed, thinking Matt had an ulterior motive for luring them to the wrong location. Nick didn't care about the why. His only priority was to find Noah and bring him home safely. Burrow believed Matt had taken Noah to an alternative location. Annie seconded the notion, and she thought Matt's goal was to mentally overwhelm Nick and Sharon. She refused to let him get away with it, and Nick wondered whether Matt had discovered Burrow's double agent status. The detective didn't believe that to be the case, so he left the scene to set up a meeting with the madman. Sharon told Nick she didn't trust Burrow, and he agreed that they needed more backup in their quest to find their son. They were in a strange city, with nobody they knew, so she didn't think there was anyone to turn to. Before they left, a man on drugs accosted Nick and Sharon, but he wouldn't reveal if he knew anything about Noah, unless there was something in it for him. Nick flashed back to Matt, giving him the bag of fentanyl, and he realized that it was the bargaining chip he needed. However, instead of handing over the drugs, he offered the man $200 instead. The man told Nick and Sharon that he had seen Noah, and he was in a state that left him unable to keep his eyes open. Sharon bombarded the man with questions, and Nick begged him to help them find Noah. They gave him the money, and the man told them that Noah was with a woman, and they were both high on drugs. Sharon wondered if they needed to search the location again, in case they missed something the first time. Burrow linked up with Matt at the Shadow Room, who asked for an update on what the detective had been up to. Matt knew that Nick and Sharon were using him as a measure of support, and he asked how Noah's parents reacted to the location he sent them to. Burrow explained that they were in awe about how anyone could live in filthy conditions like that, and Sharon, in particular, was severely traumatized by the ordeal. Matt was determined to put Nick and Sharon through hell, and he believed they deserved it. Burrow praised Sharon's ability to remain cool, calm, and collected, and Matt asked if they suspected anything. He insisted that his cover remained intact, and he confirmed that he had placed the drug addict in their path, who would lie to Nick and Sharon about seeing Noah. Matt enjoyed the original idea to kill Noah in the crash, but he loved the idea of this cat-and-mouse game instead. Burrow attempted to get Matt to reveal what his issue with Nick and Sharon was, but before they got too deep in the conversation, Victor emerged in the entryway and said, "Well, I'll be damned, Matt Clark." Matt denied being Matt and asked Victor to leave. However, Victor ordered a tequila drink, so Matt shifted tactics and asked him what he wanted. Victor placated him and revealed himself as Victor Newman. Burrow tried to leave, but Matt asked him to stay and pay for his drink before leaving. Victor had one question for Matt. "Where's my grandson?" Victor didn't believe Matt's claims to not know where Noah was. Matt told Victor about Noah and Sienna's affair, and how betrayed he felt about their connection. He sold Victor a story about Sienna being a drug addict who was about to turn Noah onto the substances. Victor didn't buy into it, and he threatened to destroy Matt if he didn't accept a deal. After Victor left, Matt filled Burrow in on everything that went on between the pair. His appearance did nothing more than inspire Matt to escalate things further. Nick and Sharon returned to the hotel, and Nick was skeptical that they were ever there. Sharon wished the man who helped them was still around when they left, but she wasn't sure he knew what had happened. They had to take the chance that he was telling the truth, even if it didn't pay off. Nick didn't know what the next step should be, but Victor showed up and hugged both Nick and Sharon. Victor revealed that he visited Matt at the Shadow Room and offered him a substantial sum of money to make the situation go away. He believed Matt didn't want money, and he wouldn't settle for anything less than full revenge. They didn't think the story about Noah and Sienna being on drugs was true, and it was all part of Matt's mind games. Nick thought the man they encountered was a plant by Matt because everything felt too convenient. Sienna and Noah were shown still locked in the abandoned room, growing significantly weaker with no resources. Sienna didn't get any sleep because of the horrific accommodations. Noah had a nightmare about his accident. the crash that he now realized was a purposeful attack. Noah and Sienna grew cold, so he suggested they cuddle up for warmth. However, Sienna finally reached the terrifying conclusion that they may never be rescued. Sienna pounded on this door, frustrated that she was still locked in the room. She reached a breaking point over the difference between the husband she knew and the man he had been exposed as. Although their marriage was riddled with problems, she didn't think it was unsalvageable. She panicked about the state of her life, and Noah took accountability. Sienna disagreed, saying, "I chose you. I still do." Neither individual had regrets about their affair, but they remembered that Matt was a factor lurking, and he still had his relationship with Allie to contend with. Sienna was certain that hurting Allie was painful for him. He wasn't the type of man who casually betrayed the ones he loved. Allie was too kind and sweet, and he couldn't bring himself to make the phone call to end the relationship. Sienna felt guilty about the demise of their relationship, but Noah took the blame. He didn't think Allie deserved to be cheated on, and he worried they'd never make it out of the room alive, so he could be open and honest with her. Noah was adamant that Matt would kill them if he returned. Sienna wasn't so sure, but Noah laid out how sinister the man she thought she knew truly was. Noah didn't know who drugged him, but he recalled meeting with Burrow, so he put the pieces together that he was potentially involved. They reminisced about the early days of their affair, when everything felt easy and exciting. Noah and Sienna successfully got the door off the hinges in the room where they were being held. Unfortunately for them, as they attempted to walk out the door, Matt and Burrow were waiting outside. Jabot wants to shut down Jabot for 3 months to protect the company from Cain's AI program. On The Young and the Restless, December 1st, Jack revealed his plans to save Jabot. And we can't stop thinking about it. He wants to shut down the business for 3 months. At Thanksgiving, Jack felt that problems were looming at Jabot. He revealed that Victor stole Cain's AI program. He could use it against Jabot. To protect themselves, Jack advised his family they shut down the business for 3 months. He feared that Victor could use this opportunity to mess with their business. Ashley wanted to know how it would work. Jack explained that this AI tool is so powerful that it could bleed any company dry. Their tech team has been handling this matter, but they can't take any risks. Jack has a feeling that it could affect all of their companies, including the Abbott Communications launch. Ultimately, Jack felt there was no way for them to protect Jabot while it's up and running. The only way to stop the AI program is to go offline. Jack feels that business can continue while they're offline. However, this could be a huge financial risk. Jabot could end up losing more than it's worth. Kyle actually made a good point. He thinks there could be even more issues if their digital storefront goes dark. Jack is aware that 3 months is a risk, but they would end up more protected in the end. Victor would be taken aback by this move. It's better to pull one over him. Tracy asked Jask what their father would do in this matter. She wasn't sure if shutting down business was the answer. What if Jabot never recovers from this huge financial loss? What would happen to all the orders that customers have placed by this point? Would they get backed up with business while they're down? They need to maintain a steady flow of everything, including shipments during this time. The shutdown could pose a huge disaster for Jabot. Jack shouldn't take this decision lightly. Thankfully, he asked his family to vote on it with him. However, he could still go his own way and shut down the business anyway. If you shut down business for 3 months, you can face legal and financial risks. There's also the issue of prioritizing taxes, employees, and debts before any equity holders are involved. The last thing that Jabot needs is to end up in financial ruin. Victor arrives at the hotel in LA and goes looking for Nick after finding he's not in his suite. Sharon and Nick walk out of the abandoned warehouse, appalled by the hellscape of fentanyl addicts inside. No one recognized their son, and it was too gross to stay. Burrow and Annie join them, having had no luck either. They all assume that Matt Clark is playing some sick joke on them. Nick has doubts that Matt hasn't realized the cops have double-crossed them. Burrow tries to reassure them and takes off with his partner. Sharon and Nick are left wishing they had more reliable help. Before they can go, an addict staggers out. He remembers them from inside. When Nick flashes him a picture of Noah, He claims he can remember more for the right price. When the Newman offers him $200, the guy says he saw their boy and he was in no shape to talk. That's all he knows. Nick and Sharon plead with him to ask the other addicts if they have any information. Burrow heads over to the shadow room, where Mitch is eagerly waiting for news. He assumes that Nick and Sharon are too stupid to have figured anything out. The cop explains that the parents freaked out when they saw the horror show he brought them to. He also paid an addict to spin them a story. Excited, Mitch wants details. Was Sharon weeping? Was Nick pounding his chest? After all those people have done to him, Mitch wants to twist the knife slowly and watch them suffer. That's all they deserve after Noah moved in on his wife. Victor appears at the door. Smirking, he approaches. Mitch is irritated when he refers to him as Matt. He's had enough of being confused with that guy. Playing ignorant, he asks who he is and laughs when Victor announces he's a Newman. Serving him a shot of tequila, Mitch tells him to drink it and go. Victor demands to know where his grandson is. If Victor wants to find Noah, Mitch suggests he look for Sienna since he's been having an affair with her. He adds that she has a substantial drug habit. Victor is sick of playing games with him. After threatening to destroy him, he asks if they can make a deal. Once Victor has left, Burrow returns, and Mitch fills him in on the latest threats. He's confident that Victor is all bluster, but this has only inspired him to kick this game up to the next level. Sharon and Nick return to the hotel, frustrated that they came up empty and skeptical that the addict they spoke to really knew anything. Sharon still finds it impossible to believe any of this is happening. As they drink Perrier, Victor shows up. He announces that he paid Matt Clark a visit and offered the guy a king's ransom, but was shot down. That's enough to convince Victor that this is all about revenge. To her horror, Sharon thinks that Matt is even more unhinged now than before. The mustache explains that Clark suggested Noah may be an addict now, thanks to Sienna. Noah's parents can't believe it. There were no signs that he was on drugs at the hospital. All of this reeks of another mind game. Everything about this feels too contrived for Nick. The cops, the addicts, all of it. His father does have an idea for how they can get information out of Matt. Noah and Sienna remain trapped in the storage room. He wakes from a nightmare. They share their body heat. It's almost impossible for her to swallow her husband being a completely different man than the one she'd thought she'd married. Her life has quickly slipped into a nightmare. Noah insists on taking the blame for that, but neither of them regrets getting together, even if he does regret the hurt it will cause Allie when the truth comes out. Noah claims that Allie deserves better than him anyway. They recall how they first met at a film noir double feature, and she ate all his raisins. It was clear they would end up together. Sienna thinks there is still a chance that they might be able to talk their way out of there if Mitch comes for them. Trying to be positive, he promises to find a way out. Borrowing her necklace, he uses one of the pendants to unscrew the bolts in the door's hinges. No sooner have they pulled the door off than they find Mitch and Burrow waiting for them. I had high hopes for young and restless pairing of Cain and Phyllis. His nonsensical approach to proving himself to ex-wife Lily and their kids made a reunion for them a non-starter, and Phyllis hadn't had a believable love interest since her last split from Jack. So I was rooting for Cain and Phyllis's hookup to work. It isn't, though. So far, Cain is mostly coming off pathetic. He's sulky that his loco plan to win back Lily wasn't successful, and doesn't want to do anything logical to prove that he can go a few days without lying or hatching a harebrained scheme. Dude came back to the canvas full of big ideas, none of which were achievable and none of which, obviously, were achieved. This is not a good look. As for Phyllis, I know that she's a forceful presence. Often, I love that about her. But her sniping at Lily is just obnoxious, and it makes Cain seem too weak to stand up for himself, which it appears that he is. But having Phyllis do it for him is yet another bad look. Perhaps most unfortunate of all is the fact that so far as I can tell, Cain and Phyllis's relationship isn't based on love, lust, or even like. It's just another business storyline with some nookie thrown in. He wants her to help him achieve his goals like a business partner with benefits, and she wants him to make Genoa City see her as a star. So in the end, how do we feel about Cain and Phyllis? I'm ambivalent. Maybe it will turn into something romantic, but right now, it's feeling less like the start of a hot romance than a corporate restructuring. Hit the comments with your take. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Nick Newman and Sharon Newman realize that their troubles have followed them home. Victor Newman and Sally Spectra's company, Phyllis Summers and Lily Winters will clash over Cain Ashby. Nick and Sharon will head back to Genoa City with Noah Newman and believe they have left their troubles behind them. However, Mitch Bacall and Sienna Bacall will follow them to Genoa City and become an issue for the whole Newman family instead. Obviously, Victor's trip to LA didn't help matter at all, considering the whole family is now under attack. How much damage will Matt do to the Newman family before he is caught, or turns up, and leaves town again? How will Victor's AI vendetta be affected by Matt's presence in Genoa City? Can Matt be stopped before he attacks another woman, or does something even worse? Victor plans to convince Jill Abbott to pull her funding from Abbott Communications after Sally convinced her to help Billy to pull this off. After all, Jill sold Chancellor out from under Billy when she didn't agree with his way of managing the company. Will Jill once again cheat her son out of his chance to make things right? Will Jill side with Victor one more time? Victor believes he can convince Jill to pull her money from Billy's company, so he will once again lose to Victor once again. Will Jill stand behind her son and help him to get his company off the ground? What will Victor do if Jill choosing her son this time instead of allowing someone to convince her to leave Billy to find for himself? Cain came back to Genoa City after he failed to reunite with Lily and Nice. Of course, 3 shocking deaths, one of which was Lily's boyfriend, did nothing to help that reunion. Lily has shot Cain down no matter what he has done to try to set things right with her. Lily has made it clear that she wants nothing to do with Cain. Cain seems to be using Phyllis, however, Phyllis cares about him and is determined to take up for him. Phyllis has told Lily more than once what she thinks about how Cain has been treated. Will Lily ever forgive Cain? Will Phyllis become the new person in Cain's life that he can count on? Will Phyllis learn that Cain is just using her? Genoa City super couple. Michael and Lauren are about to celebrate a special milestone. Michael and Lauren are one of the most famous The Young and the Restless super couples. Nicknamed Likey by fans, the couple has been the center of attention this past year. Now, the duo are about to get their very own special episode. When reformed bad boy attorney Michael married fashionista Lauren, it was a match made in heaven. Michael and Lauren, aka Likey, quickly became Genoa City's new power couple. Throughout the years, the couple experienced many highs, including the birth of their son, Fen. But there was also some low moments. Lauren's affair, Michael's cancer, and the return of Lauren's longtime rival Sheila. The couple persevered and are still as madly in love as ever. Now, the couple and their fans will take a stroll down memory lane in an upcoming standalone episode. The latest print issue of TV Guide reveals that Likey's standalone episode will air on Tuesday, December 9th. The episode will coincide with the couple's 20th anniversary, something LeBlanc wasn't aware of. Tracy knows dates, times, years, everything. I was not clocking it at all. I was like, ooh, what? Yay! LeBlanc told the magazine. This isn't the first time LeBlanc and Bregman have been part of standalone episodes. In January 2022, LeBlanc celebrated his 30th anniversary with a special episode in which Michael decides to retire. A year later, Bregman received her own standalone episode in honor of her 40th anniversary with Y&R. It's hard to believe it's been 20 years since Michael and Lauren said, I do. While many of Genoa City's couples have broken up, Likey are still going strong after 2 decades. However, their marriage did face some recent challenges because of Michael's boss, Victor. Lauren didn't like Michael sacrificing his time and sometimes his life to do Victor's dirty work. Michael, deciding that Lauren was more important, quit his job with Victor. Yet, Michael's unemployment didn't last long, and he's now back to working with Victor. With Michael at Victor's beck and call again, this might spell trouble for his marriage to Lauren. But as Likey have proven in the past, they can survive any challenge. So hopefully, the situation with Victor won't end Y&R's beloved couple. We feel ya, Noah. As gold medalist in procrastination ourselves, we entirely understand why the young and restless legacy character wouldn't have told girlfriend Allie yet that he stepped out on her and has fallen for his married lover Sienna. We all delay stuff, don't we? Especially the stuff that's going to be hard to do. But as soon as Noah is out from under the dark shadow cast over him by a back-from-the-dead Matt Clark, aka Sienna's better half Mitch, he is going to have to man up and make that call to Allie to inform his significant other not only that their relationship is over, but that it has been for a while now. As he told his new lover in the December 3rd episode, "She deserved better than me cheating on her. I want to tell her I still care," he added, "and I'm sorry." Personally, we'd love to see Allie surprise Noah by showing up when he's rescued, thereby forcing him to tell her face-to-face that he strayed. "And you still care?" we want her to say sarcastically. "Oh my God, thank you! That means so much coming from an unfaithful jerk." If Jack's granddaughter shows some fire in that moment, perhaps she could reclaim a place in Genoa City. As it was, the character was mostly written as nice, and any soap character will tell you, nice will only take you so far. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for the week of December 8 to 12, reveal that Kyle Abbott will make a risky move while Michael Baldwin delivers a surprise. Y&R fans will also see a launch party kickoff, so let's discuss what's coming up on the CBS soap. For starters, Audra Charles may be ready to strike back after Claire Newman pushes her too far. Since Audra has a hot temper and definitely knows how to scheme, should Claire be worried about what's in store? Of course, Claire has a sinister history of her own and could get down in the mud with Audra if need be. Audra and Claire's feud could get pretty dangerous on both sides as it heats up in the coming episodes. Speaking of getting dangerous, there'll be more Matt Clark, aka Mitch Bacall drama to keep Victor Newman busy in Los Angeles. Will that allow Jack Abbott to fully take Jabot offline before Victor gets updates? As for Kyle, he'll make a risky move by helping Diane Jenkins Abbott try to take Victor down. Diane already talked about wanting Victor behind bars, so Kyle should be part of this attempt to lock up Claire's grandpa. That could be risky in more ways than one, depending on how Claire feels about all this. In the meantime, Kyle may quiz Claire about their Thanksgiving kiss and wonder if this means something's changed for her. Over with Michael, he'll have a surprise that's going to blow Lauren Fenmore Baldwin away. As Lauren and Michael reach a 20th wedding anniversary milestone, Y&R will have a great standalone episode that's full of special memories on December 9th. While Lily Winters reflects on how she feels about Cain Ashby, Phyllis Summers will have to figure out if she's willing to come clean or alienate Cain with the games she continues to play. Although Phyllis promised the truth recently, there's no guarantee she'll actually confess what Cain already knows about the AI program threat and her Jabot plot. Phyllis is a wild card, so Cain won't know what to expect as this story moves along. Finally, it looks like the Abbott Communications launch party will officially get underway. Will Sally Spectra and Billy Abbott manage to make it through the bash without the Newmans causing any chaos? The Young and the Restless spoilers say the week of December 8-12 will bring some huge news and exciting moments, so stay tuned for all the highs and lows. Both have issues with Mitch/Matt. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Thursday, December 4th, tease fans with a Noah and Matt confrontation, while Victor continues his winning streak. Noah thought he was only having an affair with the wife of the man who brought him to Los Angeles and supported his efforts to open a club in America. In Genoa City, that's not even a crime. Every single person Noah knows, from his grandpa Victor to his grandma Nikki to his mom Sharon, his dad Nick, his aunt Victoria, his uncle Adam, his aunt Abby, and his sister Mariah are all serial cheaters. So how was Noah supposed to learn that there might be negative consequences to such a lifestyle choice? Except that Noah wasn't just having an affair with the wife of the man who brought him to Los Angeles and supported his efforts to open a club in America. Noah was having an affair with Sienna, who was married to Mitch. Or is that Matt, the man who framed Nick for his own murder? So Noah is in a lot more trouble than he expected. But has he finally figured his way out of it? Would you watch Victor go? He's in Genoa City telling Nikki he is going to destroy Cain. Then he's in LA telling Matt he's going to destroy him. Then he's in Genoa City telling Victoria he's going to destroy Jack. Now Victor is headed back to LA to get Nick, Sharon, and Noah out of the jam they've gotten themselves into. That Newman private jet is really getting a workout. How much fuel is he burning? Is Victor Newman single-handedly causing climate change? Well, if he is, he's doing it for his family. And if you object, well, he'll destroy you too. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Wednesday, December 3rd, suggest some interesting moments up ahead on the CBS soap. Someone is ambushed by a former foe, while two characters are cornered, and a couple tries to escape their dire predicament. What's on the horizon for Wednesday? Time to find out. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Wednesday, December 3rd, reveal that Victor Newman will catch Matt Clark, aka Mitch Bacall, off guard when he ambushes him on his turf, Los Angeles. The mustache will head into the shadow room for a major confrontation. How will Matt react when he realizes the Victor Newman is in town and ready to strike? The scenes between these two will be intense, and something fans won't want to miss. Across the other side of LA, Sharon Newman and Nick Newman will find themselves backed into a corner. Will they exhaust all venues in finding their son, Noah Newman, and his gal pal, Sienna Bacall? Then again, there's a good chance they become Matt's hostages too, along with Sienna and Noah, or likely in a different location. Either way, Sharon and Nick will be caught in some sort of trap, so viewers will have to tune in to find out. Speaking of Noah and Sienna, The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Wednesday, tease that the two will plan their escape. With that said, will they be successful in this attempt, or is it bound to be an epic fail? Either way, with Victor in LA, it's only a matter of time for Noah's grandfather to swoop in for the save. But Victor is only one man. Can he help shick Noah and Sienna from their dire situation? Only time will tell. What storyline are you most looking forward to during Wednesday's show? Comment below. Comment below. Tune into the CBS Soap Daily and check out SOS often for the best Young and the Restless updates, spoilers, and news. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates for the upcoming 3 weeks tease Matt Clark, also known as Mitch Bacall, is preparing to unleash some terror on Genoa City. Y&R fans can also expect to witness complicated romantic entanglements and devious schemes as the Abbotts retaliate against Victor Newman's AI menace. In the week of December 5th, Lily Winters and Phyllis Summers will engage in a fierce confrontation, while Jack Abbott proposes a daring strategy to his family. Jack is advocating for a 3-month halt to thwart Victor's AI incursion, and it seems he will garner the full backing of his family as he readies to take Jabot offline. Meanwhile, Nikki Newman might become aware of Jack's covert approach, as he is set to reveal something to her shortly. Once Victor gets wind of some issues in Los Angeles, he will head there to confront Matt directly. After a series of threats are exchanged, Victor will devise a strategy that could trap Matt. Sharon Newman and Nick Newman will find themselves in trouble, while Noah Newman and Sienna Bacall attempt to execute a getaway plan. Y&R spoilers indicate that Matt might join in and disrupt that escape plan since he's about to put Noah in another difficult situation. Next, Kyle Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott will look for leverage to use against Victor. They will work together to dig up dirt, leading Diane and Kyle to discover an unexpected way to bond as mother and son. Meanwhile, Audra Charles will be upset after Nate Hastings rejects a reunion once more, and will soon take shots at Claire Newman, prompting Claire to retaliate. December 8th to December 12th is poised to unveil even more ominous developments surrounding Matt, while simultaneously setting the groundwork for the conclusion of this narrative arc in Los Angeles. Although it may appear that Matt has faced defeat, he will be secretly orchestrating a comeback in Genoa City, with plans to target the entire Newman family. This shouldn't be surprising, considering the vicious villain's history with the Newmans. Additionally, it's important to highlight a special standalone episode scheduled for December 9th. This will celebrate the 20th wedding anniversary of Lauren Fenmore Baldwin and Michael Baldwin. From December 15th-19th, key players from LA will adjust to life in GC. Nick, Sharon, Victor, Noah, and Sienna will arrive in Genoa City for Christmas. Noah wants to make his relationship with Sienna work despite their messy start. However, Matt's thirst for revenge could create issues for the Newman family once Audra sees Noah is back. She might want him again, making Sienna her enemy. Meanwhile, Kyle hopes for more kisses from Claire this Christmas. He enjoyed their Thanksgiving kiss, so they might work towards a reunion. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates suggest that a surprising marriage proposal might be on the horizon. Could an unexpected couple be preparing to get engaged on the CBS soap? Y&R fans are aware that Sienna Bacall is presently married to Mitch Bacall, although he isn't actually a real person. Since Matt Clark has been living under the guise of Mitch and likely entered into matrimony using fraudulent documents, it raises the question of whether his union with Sienna is even legitimate. Nevertheless, it seems that Noah is on the brink of proposing. The bond between Sienna and Noah Newman, played by Lucas Adams, has been forged through a rather harrowing experience, which only deepens their affection for one another. We can anticipate that once Noah and Sienna navigate through this tumultuous captivity saga, she will accompany him to Genoa City. Regardless of whether a divorce is necessary, Sienna will be eager to leave Mitch or Matt in her past. For Noah's part, he is poised to make a significant commitment to Sienna. In a bold gesture, Noah is set to demonstrate to Sienna that he desires something genuine, potentially leading him to propose marriage in hopes of securing their future together. With Y&R spoilers hinting at Noah's substantial commitment, Sienna might soon find herself pondering the prospect of a new engagement ring. While she may harbor some doubts, Noah's charm could very well persuade her to embrace this new chapter. If that happens, it's certain to raise some concerns for Sharon Newman and Nick Newman. They may fret that Noah has become too infatuated too quickly with someone they believe may not be the right match for him. However, it's important to remember that Noah is an adult, capable of making his own choices. Despite the mistakes Noah made, particularly when he engaged in an affair that ignited Matt's anger, he appears to be resolute in his desire for a new beginning with Sienna. Sharon and Nick would have much preferred to witness Noah committing to the sweet and charming Ali Nguyen, but instead, he betrayed her trust. Now, it seems that Noah is fully prepared to invest himself in a relationship with Sienna, which could mean that he will soon share some exciting engagement news with Nick and Sharon. According to spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Noah and Sienna are set to have a memorable December, so make sure to stay tuned for all the developments. Young and the Restless spoilers for December 8 to 12, 2025 reveal Nikki Newman being stunned and Diane Jenkins playing dirty. As always, on Early Edition Day, we talk about what's coming the rest of this week. Then we'll dive into next week. On Wednesday, December 3rd, we've got Sharon Newman and Nick Newman very upset. They found terrible things at the warehouse. You know, maybe some drugged-out people, dead bodies because of the whole fentanyl ring that Mitch Bacall, aka Matt Clark, is running. But they did not find their son Noah Newman. So, Detective Annie Stewart and Detective Burrow think that Mitch/Matt lied about holding Noah there, and they also think that Matt might be panicking over them poking into his fentanyl business. Of course, they're undercover, and they're hoping he doesn't know she's undercover, and Detective Burrow is undercover as a dirty cop. But they are both definitely working this, and I just wonder if Burrow is a double agent because of some of the things he's doing. The two detectives tell Nick and Sharon that Matt doesn't know the cops are onto his drug ring, that he's just upset about other things. So, Nick bribes this homeless guy who looks at a photo of Noah and says that he saw him looking all strung out and high with some woman. But this is a red herring. Later, Detective Burrow reports to Matt that Nick and Sharon think that Matt sent them on a wild goose chase. He wants them to think Noah is dead so that Nick and Sharon are suffering. So, Detective Burrow confirms that the homeless guy that they planted there did indeed lie to Nick. And then Detective Burrow wants to know why Mitch/Matt hates Nick and Sharon so much, and Matt says that Nick and Sharon bother him and they're arrogant. On top of that, he was nice to Noah, was helping him with business, and he repaid him by screwing his wife. Victor Newman walks in on their conversation. The mustache just casually strolls into the shadow room in Los Angeles and calls him Matt, and he denies that's his name and said, "It's Mitch." Victor says, "Matt should have stayed dead." And he continues pretending not to know Victor. So, Victor wants to know from Matt where Noah is, and he again says his name's Mitch, and says maybe Noah is with Sienna. Getting high, and is talking about her being a druggie. Victor is vowing to destroy Matt unless he cuts a deal with him, and that didn't go that well. Then Victor shows up at Nick and Sharon's hotel and says he offered Matt a big old payoff to hand Noah over, and he refused. So, Victor says that Mitch/Matt also told him that Sienna is cheating with Noah and that Sienna is a druggie who will try and get Noah hooked, but Nick and Sharon don't think she is. They say that Sienna doesn't seem like a druggie. She seems clean, no signs of drug use. They are also wondering if the homeless guy was a fake, and Victor tells them he has another idea how to save Noah. Sienna is cuddling with Noah to keep warm, and they talk about cheating on her husband and his partner, Ali Nguyen, and Noah knows he needs to call and break it off with Ali, but he doesn't want to hurt her, but he wants to be with Sienna. And Noah tells her that Detective Burrow is a dirty cop because he's the one who took him out of the shadow room, and then he woke up in that room there with her. Sienna is completely horrified because she had no idea all these years her husband was really Matt and that he's this monster. But Sienna says that she chooses Noah and has no regrets. He tries to use Sienna's lightning bolt pendant to work on the door hinges, and he actually gets them undone. Opens the door. Noah and Sienna think, "Okay, we're out of here." But Detective Burrow and Mitch/Matt are right there when he opens the door. Thursday, December 4th, we've got Victor pulling a slick move and outmaneuvering Mitch/Matt. And I suspect this may give Sharon and Nick a better shot at finding Noah and Sienna. Matt might have actually moved them after catching them escaping, and Mitch/Matt is forcing Noah's hand about something. He may make some sort of crazy demand, break up with Sienna, leave town, or he hurts her. We'll see. Nikki learns a secret from Jack Abbott on Friday the 5th. And I'm just wondering if Jack's going to share info with Nikki, either fake info, hoping she'll tell Victor, or Jack might tell Nikki that, don't tell anybody. But we're pursuing criminal charges on Victor because of him using this AI and asks her not to warn Victor, knowing she obviously would. Maybe they're going to try and put a scare in her because what he is doing is absolutely illegal. It's cybercrime. Kyle Abbott and Diane are working really hard to dig up some dirt on Victor, something they can use to thwart him. Diane really wants to see Victor prosecuted for using this illegal AI, but the problem is right now he's only used it at Arabesque, not on Abbottcom or Jabot. But still, they're going to dig. Audra Charles faces Claire Grace Newman's wrath on Friday on Young and the Restless. Now that Holden Novak told Claire that Audra robbed that random guy, who's not so random really, out of big money, Claire may threaten Audra and tell her dirty secrets are coming out. Claire left Billy Abbott a message, so maybe they've talked off screen and she gave her the info. But if Claire warns her it's about to come out, Audra's going to run to Holden and tell him, "Look, you idiot, we're both about to be, public enemy number 1, unless you shut this down." The following week, December 8th through the 12th, on Tuesday, December 9th, we have a special standalone episode celebrating Michael Baldwin and Lauren Fenmore's 20th wedding anniversary. Get ready for tons of flashbacks from back in the day. Sienna and Noah are soon free of Mitch/Matt and head home to Genoa City. Looks like Victor being out in Los Angeles is the tipping point that works it out. Matt may, pretend like he lost and let them go, but he is going to creep up on Genoa City and take everybody unaware, as we know that from an interview with Roger Howarth about the plans for the villain he's playing. Now he is far from done. He wants Noah to pay for sleeping with Sienna and Nick and Sharon, just to pay in general, because he hates them. Noah and Sienna are in Genoa City soon, hoping to put the LA nightmare behind them and enjoy a holiday together. Obviously, Noah owes Ali a call. Jack may not like that, but he has settled on Sienna. So, I wonder also if Matt might try and expand his fentanyl operation to Genoa City, especially if the LA cops are onto him. I'm also wondering if hunky Detective Burrow will get a transfer to the GCPD because we got no cops in town, and he is really hot. I like that actor a whole bunch. The actor is Matt Cohen. He played Griffin Monroe over on General Hospital, if you happen to see that. Total silver fox. Love the dark hair with the silver things in there. We need some new eye candy around town. Kyle is very hopeful after Claire gave him a Thanksgiving kiss, but she doesn't want a serious relationship, and she was over there more for Harrison Locke. So Kyle may be let down again soon, and Claire versus Audra intensifies next week.